I saw a woman in the Bible, she was either getting punished or used as a negative example, right? But in fact, women as a representation is glaring. You cannot even do your divination without first appeasing Iyamit. If the birth of Jesus Christ is so significant and you claim that I am from Christ, right? It means my birth, I should also have a birth story. I should also have a documentation of my own existence. I found my calling, or I found my path under Ifa, and that is why Ifa is primarily Yoruba indigenous spirituality, but that is where I found peace, that is where I found clarity. Ifa is not a religion, but you will find religion in Ifa. The same way Ifa is not science, but Ogun is there. You find science in Ifa, right? I don't want any religion or spirituality to be taught in any school. If that's not our problem right now, we should teach children ethics, values, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to say, oh, since we're already teaching Syriac and Islam, let's infuse African spirituality, it's still we all as a collective binding ourselves to religion. Can we have a world where people focus more on learning about ethics, moral standards, and allow them choose the spirituality and the religion that they want to practice? I think they should stop Islam as a subject. I think they should stop CRK as a subject and replace both of them with ethics studies.
Give me the gist. How did this happen? Yet, tell me the story of how you converted to Ifa spirituality or Isheshi. How did this happen? Where, what did you? No, let me never say what did you see. Well, how did it happen? Let's start from the how. Let's start from the
Okay.
how.
Well, just like I said, spirituality doesn't have a path, like a step by step guide, right? And um what people have always asked me is what you just asked, how did I convert? I wouldn't say I converted because I wasn't anywhere before I left there to this place. I've always been this person. But I think what made my path very clear was when I started asking questions that organized religion could not answer, right? And it all started with clarity. Yeah, me seeking clarity. I can't really give you a when, but I know that I've been an Isheshe slash an Ifa practitioner for more than 5 years, for more than 10 years. I've always been on this path. But why I aligned deeply was when I started having deep questions that I could not get answers from organized religion. From my name is Onaiwu. This one will not die again. Why is that my name? Like, you could have given me anything. Religion will tell you, oh, that's because they've lost two children before and you came to stay. But spirituality will give you, why did these two children go, right? Why did you pick? There are so many other names that you can use to give that notice, but why was it Onaiwu, right? What did you do that made this one stay? What are the things that created that name? And questions like that. And then when you get these responses, I'm someone that is very inquisitive. I will keep asking. And that was how I found myself doing my first IFA divination. And just like that, I'm here.
Okay. One part of me wants to ask, what kind of let me ask like a layman now and see what kind of deep questions were you looking for up and down that you did not find in the Bible that you now went to go and you went to meet Ifa. What kind of questions? If you can just give me one example, let's start from there before I go to the next questions I have.
So, religion told me that when I say religion, the closest religion that I saw and witnessed or experienced is Christianity, right? And it told me that it showed me the importance of birth, right? But at the same time, it did not show me the importance of everybody's birth. It only showed me the importance of one birth, which is the birth of Jesus Christ, right? And the birth of Jesus Christ is so significant, and you claim that I am from Christ, right? It means my birth, I should also have a birth story. I should also have a documentation of my own existence, right? And that was why I started asking questions. Those are one of the highly inquisitive questions, because when you ask a religious leader, if Jesus Christ's birth was documented, why don't you have your own documentation as someone from the body of Christ? And they tell you, no, just forget about you and follow Christ. Just focus on the goal. But Onaiwu would not do that. So Onaiwu would go and find out why. I always want to know why. So those are one of those. That's like one of the questions that I asked, and I kept on getting answers that just led me to where I feel my ancestors were able to speak to me in the language that I could understand.
Okay, your family. What's the makeup of your family members? Are you the only Isheshe person in your immediate family? I'm not even talking about your grandma or your grandpa now.
Yeah, in my
So
immediate
you are
family.
the so you are the only so you are the black sheep of the family. Did that in itself can be very it's not my lived reality, so I can't say I know what you're going through, but I feel like I understand. But does it make you feel any type of way? Do you feel drawn away or moved away or drawn away from your family? Or do you still go home for Christmas and celebrate with everybody or anything of the sort? Or you just went on your own path and it's been you speak to them on the phone? Is that what
No,
the situation is?
so no. The situation with home is, so before I became, in fact, I started talking about my faith last year, like openly on social media. But before then, before then, I've always struggled with identity crisis. I've always felt like a fraud because I have to make space for the traditional religion that is known in the house, right? But it still did not take away the fact that I'm not one of you people in this aspect. I think my mom was able to spot this out based on the story of my birth, because when she finally explained everything to me, she felt like she's not surprised. But I still celebrate Christmas with them in my own. I will still chop Christmas rice. Even Ramadan, I will still chop. Anyone, just link me up, I will eat. But it's not my practice. But at the same time, I don't run away from it. If I does not segregate, doesn't tell you no, you can't, live as a community with people. If for anything, they are the ones that have that bridge with, oh, we can't really do this, foreign libation. But me, I can, anything people want, no wahala. And yeah, I do feel lonely most of the time. I don't have my own type of people around.
Benin people have their own indigenous spirituality. I know that they have. I don't know what it's called. I know that there are similarities. I've heard Benin people say, "We're going to kill you," or "We're going to do this," or "Shall not do this," or one way or the other. I know the similarities are there because people will be wondering why is somebody from Benin doing a Yoruba thing.
Doing
Because again, in their own understanding, Isheshe is primarily
Yoruba.
for the Yoruba. Yes.
Yeah.
So how would you answer that question?
Yeah, so Benin people also have their own indigenous spirituality, and there is a lot of them. There is Igbe and so many others, right? I found my calling, or I found my path under Ifa, and that is why Ifa is primarily Yoruba indigenous spirituality, but that is where I found peace. That is where I found clarity. It's the same way a Christian person will, that's Christianity, the whole English, the whole names and everything in the Bible is Hebrew or Jewish, but an Igbo man will still tell you he's a Christian. So it's the same for me.
Okay, okay. So what's the for you now as somebody who's been around, who started speaking and became vocal a couple of years ago? What's the misconception people have about African spirituality, about
Ah,
Ishishi?
there is a lot of,
Wait, wait, hold on, before you even say it, you know, Isheshe practitioners will tell you Isheshe is not a religion.
yes.
But it becomes very, very difficult if you say it's not a religion and you're trying to explain to other people that it's not a religion, it's a way of life. They'll be looking at you like, okay, but it is a religion. It is Christianity, Islam, traditional religion. So that's a misconception I know from looking outside in. But for you, who's a practitioner, what do you think is the biggest misconception people have about African traditional religion?
Is that is devil worship or idol worship. That's one. There are so many that is me just running away from Jesus, from my calling of being a prophet or a pastor, a prophetess or a pastor, that I'm just trying to run away from the Holy Spirit. Yes, some people say it's religion, but I don't. Ifa is not a religion, but you would find religion in Ifa. The same way Ifa is not science, but Ogun is there. You find science in Ifa, right? So I understand why Ishashe people will say it's not a religion, but at the end of the day, there is still organization. We still have the temple that we go to, right? There's still that organized standard that some people, especially when you are not yet initiated, you have to see it as a religion for you to actually understand what it is that you're doing in that space. So there are so many misconceptions, from the devil worship to the idolatry to the, oh, you're just running away from your calling of being a pastor, a prophetess, you're just hiding under this one. Someone even told me, I think 2 weeks ago, that I'm doing Ifa because I want men to be scared of me. And that's wild because when I started talking about my past, that's when I started getting more men. Imagine.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know how Nollywood would give the conception. You know how Nollywood would give the conception or the misconception that women who are Ifa practitioners or Isheshi, either they are witches or devil worshippers, or this one will kill you, this one will wound you. So are you telling me that's not the case? Now you're even having to chase away more men because you are. Tell me about that. Don't just say it and go. Don't say it and laugh. Give me the gist. Open your DMs. Open your DMs and give me the gist.
So you would see, even in my comments, you'd see them say, we want women that are so, natural, they're so intertwined with their ancestors. We like women that are living this all this organized religion. The women that are like this, they will be submissive, they know tradition. And I'm just a very stubborn person that will not submit to you. I don't know why you feel just because I am doing Isheshe or if I am automatically the perfect wife. But yes, they are very, I get a lot. They just feel this person is grounded, and she will definitely say yes to me. And I don't know where that came from, but it is what it is.
Oh my, oh my God. It's so funny. I'm telling you, man, it's so funny. Because I would think the reverse would be the case, but now it's people saying, oh, and you see the funny thing, they are saying it because they think you'll be submissive as an African woman who's been thrown with
Yes.
a. Which leads me to my wait, which leads me to my next question. Like as a woman now, because there's nobody that comes to your page that doesn't see the strong feminist themes that you speak about. You are all about women's rights.
Yes.
Like the whole thing that happened with Mirabel. You've been very very vocal about it. You've dragged who needed to be dragged. You do not fear. You speak your mind at all times. Yeah, but again, you know how Christianity can be patriarchal to a certain extent. There are some churches that women cannot climb the altar, and it stems from the Old Testament, where they say women are unclean, plenty all those things. Like I don't know how it is in Isheshe, but as a woman, what did Isheshe offer you that you felt like what, this is where I am, this is where I'm at peace, and you were like, okay, this is where I need to be. What did Isheshe offer you as a woman that is different from what Christianity, Islam, and any other religion? But let's stay within Christianity and Islam now. What did he offer you that you were like, what? Now we are good day be this. This is for me. This is home.
So one of it is, again, the place that I was born, or the earthly gate that I passed into earth, is a Christian home, right? And I did not see a representation of woman in Christianity. I'm so sorry. I know that this. I don't go and cut this part now and put it as this thing. No, but like To be honest, I did not see that representation. Like every time I saw a woman in the Bible, she was either getting punished or used as a negative example, right? But in Ifa, women as a representation is glaring. You cannot even do your divination without first appeasing Iyamis, which are a group of women. Oshun, that was part of the creation story of the in the Ifa creation story, is a woman. So Isheshe has, or Ifa has really shined the light on womanhood, right? As we are not just sub, we are the main, we are there. There is always a balance of the masculine and the feminine, and that is one thing that made me feel home in in Ifa. Even when I visit my goddad in Lagos, in Iyanipaja, there is this respect that I get, that I did not used to get when I was, when I used to accompany my family, or when I visit the church with friends. I don't used to get that type of should I say reverence or respect, compared to when I'm with my goddad or when I visit my godparents. Can you hear me?
Right. That makes a little sense. Like, and now I when you talked about visiting your godparents in Yanopaja, I don't know where it is, but like an image just came to my head. You in your full glory with your glasses or without it, with your hoop earrings and your beads on your hands, and everybody's looking like, she's coming. Oh. Wait, has that ever happened? Does it happen regularly?
Yes. So right now I just have two of them. But when I go out, depending on the occasion and depending on how I feel that particular day, and I'm maybe fully glammed, I don't get into any space without people saying, first of all, the hair gives me away. Who is this person that is bowed and shining like this? Then the beads and the hand beads. So it's always a hold on, can I? There's always that head turn. But I just see it as maybe these people are excited or curious.
Does your appearance or your vocality about your belief, does it affect your daily job? Does it affect your business? Or do people say, you know what, that girl, no, I can't work with her? Does it Have you ever had to deal with something like that?
My spirituality has caused that. When I used to be an employee, when before I started founding my own agency, I've had I've gotten offered my applications when I apply for jobs rejected because of my religious stance, right? And generally, my take on feminism has has not given me a direct negative effect in my work, but on social media, yes. But in my work and my personal life, no.
Oh no. Okay, talking about your personal life, if you can give us the opportunity to, or you rather we just move on and not say anything about it, because again, there are people. Again, I cannot believe that men are queuing in your DMs. So,
Oh, you should see them.
oh, interesting, interesting. But again, are you in a relationship? Do you have a partner? And even if you did, because believe me, I'm not asking because I'm interested in Aproko or I just want to know Amiibo or anything. I'm not.
Okay.
There's a valid question there. You get. So first of all, are you in a relation? Are you dating anybody? Are you in a relationship? How do
I don't
they?
think
How is it?
so. I wouldn't want to say yes. I wouldn't want to say yes. I am in a relationship, because if I am or if I'm not, I would always want my partner's confirmation on, do you are you okay with this type of response, and I wouldn't want to say no at the same time. So I would rather not just give a response to that yet, because if I say no, it is more DMs, and if I say yes, it's also a problem. So I'll just want to skip.
Okay. Okay, because again, the question I was saying was I did witness or see how IFA practitioners. I attended. I once saw a wedding, and I was blown away by how involved the orishas were involved. Everybody in that ceremony was. That's one of the things I wanted to ask. But now that you've given this answer, of course, you have every right to not want it. Fine. I do hope that when you get to a point where you and your partner are trying to tie the knot, you remember me and say, "Hey, is this thing okay? Come on."
All
but
right.
but yeah, what's daily practice like for you? Like daily practice of your religion. I saw a video where you were teaching people how to venerate or honor their ancestors. I'm sure there are people who want to know what daily practice is like for you as an Isheshi practitioner.
Yeah. So for me, it's it doesn't even end because as you're waking up in the morning, you're doing the entire reverence. I see it as I don't live alone in my house, even though I live alone. I see it as I'm surrounded by elders, right? And when you wake up as a typical African, we have to respect and greet everybody. Even though there are 30 elders in that house, everybody must collect their own individual greeting. And you're not leave the house without greeting anybody else. It's malice for the remaining week. So I do give my veneration and my reverence to those who came before me and Elorumari. And then as I get on with my day to day, I don't think I can spend 24 hours without calling over my ancestors. I have to just I think at this point they're tired of hearing that because I'm always complaining about one thing or the other. So they are solely involved in my day to day.
Okay, okay. So I know that we are almost done. I think I have maybe two more questions before I have to
Okay.
allow you go back to your day. So do you think African spirituality should be taught in schools? I'm asking this question because I know for a fact, I know people that are trying to start a movement, fighting for spirituality, Isheshi, in Lagos State or Yoruba land at least, to be inculcated into the curriculum of students. If you have Islamic IRK and CRK, Christian religious knowledge, is that they should be traditional religious knowledge as well. What do you think about this?
Hmm. I don't want any religion or spirituality to be taught in any school. That's not our problem right now. We should teach children ethics, values, because at the end of the day, if you're trying to say, oh, since we're already teaching CRK and Islam, let's infuse African spirituality, it's still we all as a collective buying ourselves to religion. Can we have a world where people focus more on learning about ethics, moral standards, and allow them choose the spirituality and the religion that they want to practice? I think they should stop Islam as a subject. I think they should stop CRK as a subject and replace both of them with ethic studies, things that actually teach children to be functional adults in the society.
Very, very well said.
Thank
Very,
you.
very well said. Very well said. Again, thank you, man. Thank you, Onaiwu, for speaking with me. Final question before you go. If you could say one thing to people who fear Isheshe or who fear Ifa veneration, ancestor veneration, Ifa worship, etc., what would you say to them? Because I don't want to ask this question in a way that says uh, advise people that want to join Isheshe, because you've made it very clear that your own journey is not to guide anybody to come and join you. It's your it's your own personal experience that you're sharing with people. But
Yes.
okay, how would you speak to anybody that fears Isheshe? What would you say to them?
I think, first of all, I think people fear what they can't comprehend. So my thoughts will be try to learn about this particular thing. And when you've done your proper research, you're learning from the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because I won't sit here and tell you, oh, Ifa is holy, it's pure, there are no dark sides. By the time you've done the work, then you can decide if you still want to be scared of it. You being afraid of Ifa or Isheshe should come from a place of choice, not a place of ignorance. That's what I can say. So do your research, learn,